Hi all, I'm Claire from Nice Girls with Mrs. T, and today I've got the lovely Xanthe Lukes with me, who is a specialist nanny. So as you know, I teach first aid for parents, and one of the questions I often get is about choking, especially during weaning. So I thought it would be great to have a conversation with someone who knows a bit more about weaning than I do, and we can, just go through quickly how to avoid choking as you're weaning a little one. So carry on.
Right, hello. Well, I think to start off with weaning, if you're thinking about whether your child is properly ready, so at 6 months is about the right age that they'll be thinking about it. And that's the age that they're able to sit up straight, so that will immediately help with avoiding choking. And they're also able to move their tongue around their mouth and move the food around their mouth safely. If you find they're a bit slumped or the food is being poked out all the time, they're possibly just not quite ready.
Yeah.
So by introducing the right age, putting them in strapped in their chair, then they're nice and safe, ready to go and try all sorts.
Definitely, I think that's important. I think time, giving them the time they need to play with the food or process the food as they eat it, I think it's really important with choking. I think running around, eating and running around is never a good thing when it comes to choking. It is something that happens. So yeah. And are there any tips with food that you would recommend to help prevent choking as well?
Well, baby-led weaning is what we're all talking about at the moment. But I would take a very practical approach. If you're worried about the choking, then introduce them first of all with pureed vegetables. I gather avocado is particularly akin to breast milk, in fact, so it digests very well, and you can get quite a smooth paste out of that. So it starts off very smoothly and then bring up to more lumpy and then crunchy sort of foods as they're able to, which will develop on each child differently. Depends whether they've got teeth, whether they actually, because it's strengthening their jaw as well, it will affect their speech and language. So if they're real chatterboxes, you might find they're also good eaters.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. Yeah, and I guess things like chopping up, making sure cherry tomatoes are chopped in half. Blueberries, I don't know, what's the thing on blueberries at the moment? Do we chop those in half?
I would always chop something that is roundy that could get lodged in the throat. I would always chop it up. So for grapes, don't just chop it in half, because you still get the round bit. Cut them lengthways, say in quarters.
Yeah.
If it got stuck, worst case, a bit of air could come through. Yeah,
that's a really valid point. So yeah, if you are worried that your child is choking, there are a few things that you can look out for. So I would always say, if they're coughing, let them cough. They've got good gag reflexes between 6 and 12 months. They're quite strong. But if obviously they're silent choking, so that's where there's basically no air is getting up to create a sound, then that's where you need to be thinking about doing your 5 back blows. And if the object isn't dislodged in that time, then you'd move to your 5 abdominal thrusts. But obviously, try and stay as calm as possible. I can't, it's a bit of a frightening experience, I can imagine, for any parent who has to deal with that. But yeah, it's trying to stay as calm as you can, and keeping the child calm as well.
Yeah, that's a really important point actually, because some children do refuse food and are poor eaters, and one of the reasons can be if they've had a traumatic experience. Then that's not going to make them want to eat again. So even if it's traumatic to you, you've got to absolutely button it in and just be, oh, never mind, oh dear, anyway, shall we have some more? And just get on that horse again and keep going. Yeah, definitely. Don't show your fear.
Yes, that's very important. I appreciate that showing fear is never easy. Not showing fear is never easy. Yeah, it's definitely important for the child. So yeah,
it's a good time as well at that 6 months to 12 months to introduce a cup.
Yeah.
It's the time that their gag reflex is so good, and they're most responsive to accepting a cup. I sometimes get parents who will say to me, oh, they're still on a bottle because I worry about the cup, but actually they're doing their child a disservice by expecting them to learn at the 12-month onward point. So I really would encourage a cup between 6 to 8 months particularly, actually.
Yeah.
So just water it doesn't have to be, you know, their milk. And give them the chance. You don't have to have sucky cups or anything technical, just a spout that tips up, and they will very quickly learn to do it themselves.
Great. Yeah, then also sit, you know, with anything, you know, food or drink, sit and be still whilst you do that to help prevent choking. So
Yes.
great, thank you ever so much. It's been great to talk to you. Now, if anyone wants to find Xanthe, then she's on xanthelukes.com. Is that right? Xanthe Lukes.
xanthelukes.co.uk.
You're also on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, that's right.
That's great. And also, for anyone that wants to learn more about choking, I'm running baby and child first aid awareness sessions, and you can find more out at lifeskillswithmrst.co.uk. So stay safe, everyone, and speak to you soon.